Okay, now it's question 11 to question 15 in homework 6. Question 11. Other things being equal, the price elasticity of demand for a product will be lower. So what kind of situation give you a low price elasticity of demand? And again, we are thinking about a demand curve looks like this. The price change may be a lot, but the quantity demanded won't change a lot. Now, if many substitutes are available, so in this situation, right, if the price increase for this product and I go to other substitutes, so the quantity demanded will change a lot, right? So this one is actually a elastic demand. Now, if it is a large part of the consumer's budget, this one you have to think about it in the price decrease. Let's say, there's a Labor Day discount, right? The original price is $1,200 for a refrigerator. Now you can buy it at $800 and save you $400 if you buy it on Labor Day discount. So your decision maybe look at $1,200. That's quite expensive, but now it's $800. Maybe a little bit more affordable. So you change from now to buy to buy the refrigerator. Okay, so again, this will be a elastic demand in the sense that price drop, right? The quantity demanded change a lot. Okay, so this is not lower elasticity of demand. Now C, in the long run then in the short run. In the long run, the price elasticity of demand will be higher. It's just that not only there may be substitutes finds, the technology may change, they may no longer need that particular product. So or say the value, right? The usefulness of that product to that person become lower. That all can happen. Anyway, so in any sense, in the given enough time, both demand and supply will be more elastic. That's just what's happening. Okay, in the long run, demand and the supply both are very elastic. And that sort of leaves us with this one. If there's few or no substitutes available, that is exactly one reason, right? Why the price elasticity of demand can be very low, just no substitute. If you want to do this thing, you have to have this product. That is kind of a fundamental reason for the low price elasticity of demand. Okay, let's look at question 12. In general, we predicted demand for Gala apples to be, well, think about it. There's so many substitutes. Not only just apple, you can eat whatever, peaches, oranges, pears, right? A lot of similar fruits, even tomatoes. Not potatoes, but tomatoes, maybe close, right? So, and there are many, many different varieties of apples. Honey Crispy, right? Golden Delicious, Pink Lady. I can name a few. Fuji, of course. So the answer should be obvious. Okay, the answer should be obvious based on what we have discussed here. If you have a lot of substitutes, then you have what? You have this kind of demand curve. Okay, question 13. The pair of items that is most likely to have a negative cross price elasticity of demand is. Alright, let's write a little bit notes here, right? If the this is cross price elasticity of demand is negative, what does it mean, right? Price of A goes up, then quantity demanded for B goes down, right? That is what it says. And the result is what? It basically says we know what? Price of A goes up, quantity demanded for A will also goes down, and quantity demanded of product B goes down as well. So the two, if they are related, then they are complements. We got a conclusion. A and B are complements. For complements, we know that they are consumed together. Okay? So, aspirin and hamburgers, these two are not even related. Hot dogs and mustard, yeah, at least I do put mustard on hot dogs. A lot of people do, so we can consider them as complements. Margarine and butter, these two are substitutes, right? Margarine says they are like the real butter. D, ketchup and coffee. Again, these two are not closely related. You do not have to have coffee at the same time to have ketchup, right? You may have coffee and a hamburger for lunch, and it's a little bit far to say, ketchup has to be there unless you order French fries, right? So the answer should be quite obvious, but the key here is that if the elasticity of cross price elasticity of demand cross price, right? If it's positive, then you got what? Substitutes, right? So to memorize, I will memorize this part. Okay, negative cross price elasticity of demand, it's the opposite to the substitute, so they are complements. I will just memorize. Why do I memorize this one instead of the negative one? Because I just want to memorize the positive one, right? A positive relationship, they are substitutes. Just substitute. This sort of the consumption is kind of negative relationship, but then the cross price elasticity of demand become positive. The reason is basically you plug in a demand curve that is a negative relationship. Okay, so what I'm saying is basically, let's say the price of A, this price of A goes up, then the quantity demanded for A goes down, and they are substituted. You want to, the demand for B actually goes up. Okay, they're substitute. You use B to substitute A. This part, right? A and B, the consumption part is a negative relationship. But there is another negative. Negative plus negative, you got positive. The other part of the negative is price goes up, quantity demanded goes down. That's another negative relationship. So one pair of negative relationship plus another pair of negative relationship, you end up have a positive cross price elasticity of demand. Okay, that is question 13. Let's look at question 14. Reina consumes 100% more mechanical pencils when the price of the felt tip pens increased by 50%. For Reina, pencils and pens are, well, common sense, right? Common sense. They're both writing instruments, so we need to consider from B or D. And the cross price elasticity of demand is how much? We are now going back to this calculations in cross price elasticity of demand. Still, it's the percentage change in quantity, but now it should be what? For the mechanic pencil, that's what we're talking about. So it's the mechanic pencil divided by the percentage change in the price in what? The felt tip pens. Just call it FT, felt tip. So we have what? We have 100%. It's the quantity demanded or quantity consumed in one goods caused by the change in the price of another. Okay, still 50%, and that one you calculate the value of that cross elasticity of demand, cross price elasticity of demand. Okay, now let's look at question 15. Kayla and Jada are roommates in New York City. So they, at least, they should have some similarity, right? We kind of consider everything else are the same. So both Kayla and Jada recently received raises. Now we can make a note. What's going on is that both of them have higher income. And what we should think about, income elasticity of demand, right? Kayla now purchases more MP3 albums online than before, but Jada buys fewer, right? Kayla behaves as if MP3 albums are what kind of goods? So let's write it down. For K, the quantity demanded for one good goes up, but for J, the quantity demanded for the same good goes down, right? So if you have higher income and you buy more of this good should be a normal good. That is income elasticity of demand. For normal good, it's positive number. But if you consume less, right, the income elasticity of demand become negative. It's what? Inferior. So the inferior goods. That is for Jada. Okay. So here what we want to notice is that for income elasticity of demand and for the cross price elasticity of demand, the threshold that we care about is 0, right? So if the income elasticity of demand is positive, it's a normal good. If it's negative, it's inferior. But for the cross price elasticity of demand, if it's positive, okay, the two related goods are substitutes. If it's negative, the two are complements. You need to memorize all of this. And for the price elasticity of demand, all the price change and total revenue, all that, the threshold we care about is 1. If the value, it's actually the absolute value, because we know the price elasticity of demand is always negative. So we just care about its absolute value. So if the absolute value of the price elasticity of demand is higher than 1, it's an elastic demand. If it's less than 1, it's inelastic demand. The threshold is 1, right? Only for price elasticity of demand, that's the most important threshold, is 1. But for the cross price elasticity of demand and the income elasticity of demand, the most important threshold is 0. You need to remember those.